Hello everyone. In today's topic we are going to discuss about the cardiac cycle. So introduction. The healthy adult heart beats at a rate of 60 to 80 beats per minute at rest. So when the body is at rest, the heartbeat will be a healthy adult heart will be around 60 to 80 beats per minute. So there are three stages of cardiac cycle. So let's see what's that. Atrial systole is the first one, ventricular systole is the second one, and complete cardiac diastole is the third one. So let's see what's that. In atrial systole, contraction of the atria takes place. So the atrium, the upper part, upper chamber of the heart, no. So the contraction of the atria takes place. In ventricular systole, the contraction of the ventricles take place. The ventricles means the down chambers are called the ventricles. So this takes place. And in complete cardiac diastole, the relaxation of the atria and the ventricles takes place. Both the upper chamber and the down chamber, the atrium and the ventricles, that take place. It is called the complete cardiac diastole. So during each heartbeat, also called as cardiac cycle, the heart contracts. That is called a systole. Contraction is called a systole. So that's why it mentioned as atrial systole contraction. And relaxation means the diastole. So the complete cardiac diastole, it means the complete cardiac relaxation takes place. Okay, taking 74 beats per minute as an example, each cycle lasts about zero point 0.8 seconds. So we are calculating and taking an average of 74 beats per minute as an example. The each cycle lasts about 0point 0.8 seconds. So when you are seeing this diagram, so the first one is called the atrial systole. Usually it lasts about 0.1 second, not even 1 second, 0.1 second. Okay. So the ventricular systole means the contraction of the ventricles, the down chambers. It will withstand for about zero point 0.3 seconds. Okay. And the complete cardiac diastole, that is the complete relaxation of the heart, it takes about 0point 0.4 seconds. So totally altogether 0.1, 0.3 and 0.4 makes 0.8 seconds. So this is the cardiac cycle which for complete systole, the contraction and the relaxation of the heart will be take place by 0.8 seconds. Okay, so the arrow is the flow of the blood, okay, from the upper part to the lower part. It will, that means from the atrium to the ventricles, and from the ventricles to the, here you can see it will go to the pulmonary artery, and here it will go to the aorta. Okay, so this is the movement of the blood in the heart. So next slide we'll see. So what is atrial systole? The complete explanation for the atrial systole, let's see. The superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava transport deoxygenated blood into the right atrium, and the four pulmonary veins bring oxygenated blood into the left atrium at the same time. So one thing you just remember, always the right side has the deoxygenated blood. It means the blood that contains carbon dioxide. Okay, oxygen will be not there, it will be carbon dioxide. Okay, and the right side, left side of the heart will contain the oxygenated blood. It means the blood which is good and it is being needed by the all the parts of the body. That is the purified blood that will be taking place in this left side of the heart. Okay, so from the deoxygenated blood will be coming to this atrium from the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava. This both carries all the deoxygenated blood from all the parts of the body and bring it to the right atrium. And here this left atrium will have four openings, that is the pulmonary veins. Okay, four pulmonary veins. That means the lungs will purify the blood and it will send it to the right atrium, where from where it will be transported to all the parts of the body. So that is called, since it is coming from in the lungs, it is called as the pulmonary veins. Anything that is named as pulmo or pulmonary, it means that is connected with the lungs. Okay, so the pulmonary veins which brings the oxygenated blood, purified blood into this right atrium. So next, the atrioventricular valves are open and the blood flows passively through without any effort to the ventricles. So since the blood is being filled here with this atrioventricular valve, okay, atrium and ventricle. So that is called as the atrioventricular valve. There's the tricuspid and the bicuspid valve. Okay, that is also called as tricuspid and the bicuspid valve, or the atrioventricular valve. These valves are open and the blood will flow without any effort from the upper part to the lower part, from the atrium to the ventricles, because of the gravity, anything. Okay, so the SA node, which is the pacemaker of the heart, triggers a wave of contraction that spread through the myocardium of both atria, emptying the blood from the atria and completing the ventricular filling, that is the atrial systole, for 0.1 second. So this is known as the pacemaker of the heart, that is the SA node. This is the one which creates that impulse, that electrical impulse, so the heart is pumping. Okay, when this can't be able to function properly, at that time the pacemaker, that is the artificial pacemaker, which we are implant is being implanted in the heart, no, that is being implanted, that is the artificial pacemaker. But the original pacemaker of the heart is this SA node. Okay, so this is the one which triggers the wave of contraction and it spreads the electrical impulse to both the atrium, that means the upper part of the heart. Okay, so this total, the blood will be coming to the ventricles within 0.1 second, that is the atrial systole, which happens in 0.1 second. Okay, so when the electrical impulse reaches the AV node, the transmission of the waves are slowed down, which delays the atrioventricular transmission. Okay, so all these electrical signals are being carried to this AV node. This is the second one which creates the electrical impulse. Okay, from the AV node, this is being transmitted. All the electrical signals are being transmitted to this AV node. Okay, so there is a small delay in this. Small delay. We'll next see why that delay is there. Okay, so this is a simple atrial systole which takes place about 0.1 second, and it is the contraction of the atrium is being take place. That is a simple thing about atrial systole. Now ventricular systole, we'll see the delay that we already read, that there is a delay in the AV node when the electrical signals are coming to the AV node. That's a small delay we saw now. For why that delay is there, we'll see. This delay causes the mechanical result of atrial stimulation and the atrial contraction to lag behind the electrical activity to fraction of seconds. Only, not there is a lag means that is not a big pause or delay. It means for a fraction of seconds there is some delay is there. This delay allows the atria to finish emptying into the ventricles before the ventricles begin to contract. So why this delay is there means the atrium, the blood in this atrium part has to be completely emptied and it would reach the ventricles before the ventricles are being contracted. So that's why there is a small delay for allowing all the blood which is being collected here to enter this ventricles. Okay, that's why a small delay is there. After this delay, the AV node triggers its own electrical impulse and then quickly spread through the ventricular muscles via the AV bundle, the bundle of branches and Purkinje fibers. So here you can see the AV node, and this AV node will transmit to the AV bundle, the Purkinje fibers, the bundle branches, everything. Okay, so that's why the ventricles are being contracted. Okay, so this results in a wave of contraction which move upward from the apex of the heart across the walls of both the ventricles, pumping the blood into the pulmonary artery and the aorta. The ventricular systole will last about 0.3 seconds. Okay, so when this electrical impulses are being transferred, this the apex of the heart that is being from the apex of the heart, it is being contracted and the blood will be flowing to the from the as I told that it is the deoxygenated blood. It is being sent through the pulmonary artery to the for purification. This deoxygenated will be sent to the lungs for purification, and this oxygenated blood is sent through the aorta to all the parts of the body for because all the cells need oxygenated blood, no, so that's why this oxygenated blood is being transferred through the aorta. Okay, so the totally the time set is about the 0.3 seconds. So So next one is the complete cardiac diastole. Okay, the high pressure which generates during the ventricular contraction forces the atrioventricular valves to close, which prevents the black flow of the blood into the atria. So here you can see this atrioventricular valves, no, if it is being closed only, the blood won't flow back to the atrium. Okay, so that's why what happens, the this part of this atrioventricular valves will be closed when the ventricles are contracted. Okay, after contraction of the ventricles, there is a complete cardiac diastole. Diastole means what? The relaxation, okay, for a period of 0.4 seconds, where the atria and the ventricles are relaxed. So they need a relaxation, no? So when contraction, it will be like this. So relaxation, they will be relaxed for about 0.4 seconds, okay. In this time, the myocardium recovers and it will be ready for the next heartbeat. In mean, while the atria refill and will be ready for the next cycle. Okay, so as we said that when the atria is contracting, no, the blood, when the atria is contracted, the blood will be flowing to the ventricles. So when the ventricles are contracting, the blood will be flowing to the lungs and the all the parts of the body. After that, a complete relaxation is there. Now, at that time, what happens? This inferior and superior vena cava will bring the blood, and this part and this atrium will be atrium and the left and the right atrium both will be filled with the blood for the next cardiac cycle. Okay. In this time, the myocardium recovers and that will be ready for the next heartbeat. Okay, and the atria refills. So this point we saw the valves of the heart and the great vessels, that is the aorta and the pulmonary trunk, open and close according to the pressure within the chambers of the heart. Okay, so this is the aorta and this is the pulmonary artery. Okay, so I think the next slide will be more easier for you. Yeah, here you can see this is the pulmonary artery. Okay, so both from this part, no, the deoxygenated blood which is being transferred to the pulmonary artery, and here it is being transported to the aorta. So what happens, no, this valves will be closed when this valves is open, no, when this valves is open, the atrioventricular valves is open, this pulmonary valves, that means the semilunar valve, that is called the semilunar, these valves will be closed. When these valves are being opened, here you can see when these valves are being opened, this atrioventricular valve will be closed. Only one valve will be opened at a time, so that the backflow of the blood will be prevented. Okay, so that is the meaning of that. So now pressure change in the atrium and the ventricle. So what is the pressure which is being happen inside the heart? When the ventricle contracts, there is a rapid increase in the pressure in the ventricles, and when the pressure rises above the atrial pressure, the atrioventricular valves close and the pulmonary and the aorta valve open, and the blood flows in these vessels. So as I told that, how these vessels are being closed means when the pressure is being higher in the ventricles. So at that time, what happens, these valves are being opened, the aorta and the pulmonary vein valves are being opened, and this atrioventricular valves is being closed. Okay, so when the ventricle relax, the pressure within the ventricles fall and reverse process occur when the pulmonary and the aorta valve close, and then the atria and the ventricular valves open, the cycle begins. So as I told that only one valve will be open at a time. So here it is open and this valve is closed, here this is open and this valve is closed. Okay, this process of opening and closing of the valve ensure that the blood flow is only one direction. Okay, so that's why it's being mentioned. So heart sounds, when the ear or the diaphragm of the stethoscope is placed on the chest wall a little below the left nipple, a slightly nearer to the midline, the heartbeat can be heard. Okay, so the heartbeat, where it is the place where we can feel is, here you can see this is the MCL, is the mid clavicular line. So this is the clavicle bone and this is the mid clavicular line. From the nipple, no, if you are putting a straight line, that is the mid clavicular line. And there where you can feel in the left side nearer to the midline of the heartbeat, here you can find this here as you know that aortic, pulmonic, Erb's point, tricuspid, mitral, so many things are there in this heart sound. But for a simple thing, you must know that this is the intercostal space. That means the two rib bones are there, no? So the space between both of them, it is called as the intercostal space. So this space is called the first intercostal, second intercostal, third intercostal. So like that only we can be able to find where is exactly the heart is being located. So here it is being placed in the outside of the heart. The outline of the heart will be in the second intercostal space. Okay, the outline will be in the second intercostal, right and the left side. And here you can feel the below the nipple, no, the fifth intercostal space and the mid clavicular line. You can feel this a border of the heart. Okay, so like that you can find the border of the heart. And there are four heart sound where each one of them corresponds to a particular event in the cardiac cycle. So there are four heart sound. The first two are most easily distinguished, and the sound can be heard through the stethoscope like lub dub. Okay, the sound will be you everybody knows that sound, lub dub. Okay, the first sound is the lub. It is loud and it is due to the closure of the atrioventricular valve. Okay, when these valves, the atrioventricular valves, these valves are being closed, that means when the blood is flowing from the atrium to the ventricles, when that blood is flowing, at that time the closure of that valves, no, that is called as the lub. And the second sound is the dub. It is softer and it is due to the closure of the aorta and the pulmonary valves. Okay, so here you can see when this aorta and the pulmonary valve, these valves are being closed, that is the sound is called as the dub sound. So first one will be a loud, that is the lub sound, and the second one will be a dub sound. Okay, so this is all about the cardiac cycle. So in future days we'll see about the ECG interpretation. I'm just preparing on it, so will be releasing in few days. So thank you so much. If you have any doubt, please post in the comment section below. Thank you.